So a very important debating point has come up recently in the news here. Iraq to lower the age of consent for girls to just 9 years of age. So there's a new law being proposed at the moment to bring in this age of consent drop so that men can marry children. Right? That is what we're going to be discussing today. Let's take a look. Iraq is poised to slash the legal age of consent from 18 down to 9, allowing men to marry young children. That in itself is sick. It's got to be sick. It is sick. Incredibly sick, right? The proposed legal change also deprives women of rights to vote, child custody, and inheritance. Iraq's parliament, which is dominated by a coalition of conservative Shia Muslim parties, is preparing to vote through an amendment that would overturn the country's personal status law. Now, this is overall an absolutely sick law which they're trying to bring in at the moment. It's passed 2 amendments at the moment so far, so it's going on to the third one, which I believe is going to be the final vote shortly. But the fact is that they're trying to make it so that men can marry children as young as 9, essentially legalizing child rape, right? Which is incredibly bad. They're also trying to change a number of laws to make it basically a man-dominated country, and women have little to no rights whatsoever, which obviously I'm not behind whatsoever, and neither should you be. The legislation known as Law 188 was heralded as one of the most progressive in the Middle East when it was introduced in 1959, and provides an overarching set of rules governing the affairs of Iraqi families regardless of their religious sect. As well as bringing down the legal marriage age, the amendment would also remove women's rights to divorce, child custody, and inheritance. The governing coalition says the move aligns with a strict interpretation of Islamic law and is intended to protect young girls from, quote, immoral relationships. Now, I don't get this part, right, because surely the most immoral thing is for, I don't know, a 20-odd-year-old, a 30-year-old to marry and have sex with a 9-year-old, right? That's got to be the most immoral thing that is available, and they're trying to make that happen. So in their warped sense of being, a 20-odd-year-old having sex with a 9-year-old is moral, apparently. I don't see how that could possibly be, but apparently that's less immoral than I don't know, 2 teenagers getting together, I guess. I don't know, right? The second reading of the amendment to Law 188 was passed on September 16th. It isn't the first time Shia parties in Iraq have tried to amend the personal status law. Attempts to change it failed in 2014 and 2017, largely due to a backlash from Iraqi women, as you would think it actually would, because this law not only affects children, but it affects women in a great way. But the coalition now has a large parliamentary majority and is on the brink of pushing the amendment over the line. So basically, the previous 2 attempts failed, but they reckon that this one is very close. It says it's the closest it's ever been. It has more momentum than it's ever had, primarily because of the Shia parties. It's not all Shia parties. It's just the specific ones that are empowered and are really pushing it. An attack on women, girls, and Iraq's social fabric. Experts and activists say the amendment would effectively erase the most important rights of women in the country. The amendment would not just undermine these rights, said Sarah Sandbar, Iraq researcher. It would erase them. Right, so it wouldn't undermine the rights, it would erase all their rights. And I don't see why we as a society, and I don't care that these are a different country and a different religion, a different culture. It's wrong, no matter which way you look at it, to try and take away women's rights. It's just wrong. I don't see any reason why men should necessarily have more rights than women. I don't see why, unless you see women as a secondary species, which they're not, right? I don't get it. Going back to the child marriage aspect, Iraq already has high rates of child marriage according to the United Nations, that's UNICEF. Some 28% of women in Iraq are married by 18. That is despite it actually being illegal to do so. So mind boggles, right? This is because of a loophole in the personal status law which allows religious leaders instead of the courts to officiate thousands of marriages each year, including those involving girls as young as 15 with permission from the father. So basically, fuck the laws, right? Screw the laws. As long as you've got the backing from a religious leader, you can get married still, even if you're not legally old enough to do so, and as long as the father's okay with their child getting married. Is it just girls, by the way? Can boys get married as young as that, or is it just girls? Again, what the hell? These unregistered marriages are widespread in economically poor, ultra-conservative Shia communities in Iraq. But because the nuptials are not recognised by law, the girls and any children they have are denied a plethora of rights. For example, hospitals can refuse women admitted for childbirth without a marriage certificate. This is another aspect that is actually blowing my mind right now, because I don't know all about Iraqi laws, but can you not give birth if you're not married? Like, never mind this amendment to the laws. Can you not actually give birth if you're not married? Are you not allowed to have children unless you're married? So where do these women go who do get knocked up without being married when they want to give birth? Do they just have to do it at home or something? What? It seems very backward, this society, right? Not progressive whatsoever. The amendment would legitimise these religious marriages, putting young girls at increased risk of sexual and physical violence, as well as being denied access to education and employment, according to Human Rights Watch. The proposed amendment is the latest move by the governing coalition to curb the rights of women. In April, it made... Okay, so prepare yourselves again. In April, it also made same-sex relationships punishable with up to 15 years in prison after failing to impose the death penalty. So they actually tried to make the death penalty a thing for same-sex relationships, but never mind. It's you still can get up to 15 years in prison if you dare, of course, to be gay. Right? Don't dare to be gay, because that is, oh my God, what is the world coming to? Fucking gays, aren't they? Jesus Christ, honestly, I don't know what you're up to these days, isn't it? Ridiculous, right? And last year, it ruled that media outlets replaced the term homosexuality with sexual deviance on all platforms. The term gender was also banned. So you can't use gender, because there is no genders. You can't use homosexuality. It is sexual deviance. You are a sexual deviant if you're gay. Don't forget that, right? The Iraqi parliament will formally debate the latest amendments before putting them to a vote. The action has ignited an outcry on social media, with women's rights activists accusing the government of attempting to legalise child rape. Which is exactly what they're trying to do. Anybody with any ounce of common sense would know that trying to marry a 9-year-old, right, as an adult is wrong. trying to have sex with a 9-year-old as an adult is wrong, right? Anybody with an ounce of common sense knows this. The only people who either don't know this or do not care, even the people who, are pedophiles, right? The only people that would want to do that to a 9-year-old is that, right? It's a blanket statement. There is no ifs or buts. There is nothing else in between, right? Because at no point, and I guarantee this is fucking true, right? At no point will a 9-year-old come to a 25-year-old and say, and try and pick them up. No, it's not going to happen. It's not because they don't think about that sort of thing. They don't care about that sort of thing. They don't know what's happening. When you do that to a child, it means that they're doing it without their consent. Therefore, it is rape. And that's what you're trying to bring in. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The only thing that can be said about these people are that they are the lowest forms of society, and even if they get brought in and they bring this law in, it doesn't change anything to the people who are bringing the laws in. It just amplifies the fact that they are that way inclined. And a lot of people think that the reason they're doing this is for their own self-serving nature, because they want to do this, so they want it to be illegal in order to do it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this normal behaviour? All right, I'm watching you. Okay, is this the normal behaviour? And should it be accepted in any form of society? Doesn't matter about culture. I don't give a fuck about culture in this instance, right? I'm all for respecting other people's cultures, but when it comes to this, right, no, absolutely not. That's my opinion. You might have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this situation. Until next time, guys, please give this video a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, as I said, and subscribe to the channel if you want more news stories like this heading your way. I know it's not the best story in the world, but it is an important debate to be having, and if anybody can do anything to try and stop this from being legal, then we need to try, I guess. Until next time, have a lovely day. Don't be an Iraqi leader, obviously. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.